I hope this is recording. I don't even know. If you can tell, I have a very gravelly voice. I have a sore throat. I'm still coughing. I had COVID 2 weeks ago, and still recovering, honestly. And for those of you who are like, well, Patrick, you should have got vaccinated. I did. I did get vaccinated. I was twice. I got the double Pfizer vaccine back in March when it came out, and felt pretty confident in myself. And honestly, living in the Southeast, we kind of forgot about COVID. It's kind of like it doesn't really exist here in the South. Like we don't really believe in COVID. So wasn't barely as careful as I needed to be. And caught it bad over Christmas break, and still recovering. Like, I can't even. It hit me hard. I wasn't in the bed or anything all day long every day, but it was like, it was a challenge to walk up the stairs. It was a challenge to go to sleep. It was a challenge to breathe, and so I think about. And I'm not here to say pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine, whatever you want to think. It's not my place. But I can tell you right now, I got it. I got the vaccine. And I can tell you that I think about those times like, what if I didn't have the vaccine? Like, how sick would I have been then? And thankfully, I powered through it. But I'm still a little feeling some after effects. So forgive me for coughing or for having a gravelly voice. But I spent a lot of time thinking about this upcoming year, and you know what? My light's not even on. Hold on, I'm gonna put my light on. Is that any better? Do I look even more handsome? Yeah, probably not. The lighting, airbrushing, they're like, Patrick, hey, you can try all the tricks. It's not going to work. I'm sorry, buddy. You're as handsome as you can get. What I was saying was I spend a lot of time thinking about some of the challenges that I need to tackle this year, and some of the messages I need to relay, and some of the things that some of the things that took away from 2021, and how do I parlay them into 2022 and make Zoom better, make my career better, make my customers better, make my colleagues and coworkers better. And by the way, I'm freezing. I grew up in Colorado, where it was always like, negative 300 degrees Kelvin, and today in South Carolina it is 42, and I'm so cold. Like my blood is so thin, so I had to put on a Harley shirt jacket to curb the cold. But what was I talking about? My brain's all a mess, which is not new. Right. New goals for 2022. And here they are, right? And here, they're in no particular order. I just want to, my job, honestly, is very fluid and dynamic. It kind of changes as the day goes on, and from customer to customer. I literally just try to help our sales team, and I try to help our engineering team in everything when it comes to Zoom, and in everything that it comes to showcasing the power of Zoom, and showcasing how we can add business value to an organization, an enterprise, education, FinServe, public sector. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you're located. My job is to kind of come in and help deliver that message. And as I thought about that, and I thought about how I can do that better, I kind of go back to 2021, where my talk track evolved a little bit. And as I talk to a ton of CIOs every day. I talk to a ton of CEOs every day. And I want to hear their challenges. And I want to hear their problems, because helping them is really what gets really me excited and me motivated. And when I know what they're going through, what their challenges are, right? Technology is not at the forefront of our discussions most of the time. Most of the time, our discussions are about how to help their customers. And think about a CIO, right? A CIO's customers are their users. An IT director's customers are his or her users. Your user base are your customers when you're in the IT organization. My customers obviously are external, but when you're a CIO, a CTO, a CISO, an IT director, a business admin, like your customers are your colleagues, your end users. And what is your job there? What is your motivation to make them successful? And that's what I've been thinking about the last 2 weeks while I've had a lot of time to think, is that how do we deliver that message better? And not just even from a Zoom perspective. By the way, my family got me a stress ball. So you see me squeezing this. I guess that was kind of a subtle message. But no, seriously, is how do we deliver that message to our customers? And so then you can deliver it to your customers. And it really comes down to this. This is kind of how I've transitioned or evolved my thinking into modern day thinking from an IT perspective, 2022 thinking. I'm older, right? I used to have a lot of gray hair. You guys have known me before that. Now I have platinum blonde hair and a black beard, but beneath that, it's all just gray, right? There's underneath here, it's just gray. It's just gray hair. I've been in this industry a long time, and what I used to do in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, right, was this draconian method of pushing out a product to our end users and saying, hey, this is what you get. This is the only product you get. Whether you love it or you hate it, this is what you get for the next 3 to 5 years, because we're not doing it again. You don't have a choice. So use this, make it conform to your world, and good luck to you. Right? That's not a service organization. That's not a service mentality. That is not making the customer happy. That is just doing what you think needs to be done and hoping for the best. We can't do that anymore. That's not the mentality we can do anymore. So as the CISO, as CTO, as CIO, IT director, your job now is to provide service at the best level that you can. And how do you do that? Well, probably one of the reasons ways you don't do it is ask the IT organization how to do it. And I know I'm going to piss off the organizations by saying that, but it's true. The only way you can serve your organization, your enterprise, your company, is by asking questions, is by discovery. So your job as a CIO, CTO, IT director is find out what your users are wanting. Find out what your customers are wanting. Because if you're in sales, your job is to find out what your customer wants and give that to them. Guess what? When you're a CIO, CTO, CISO, IT director, your job is to do exactly that. You're kind of in sales in a little bit. You're selling your organization. You're selling your department to the broader enterprise. And how do you do that? By providing service that they want. What do your customers want? What do your users want? That's what we need to deliver. You don't deliver what you think they want. You deliver what they want. That's your job. And so as I talk to a lot of CIOs, that mentality has changed from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Now the mentality is, hey, what do my users want and how can I give that to them? So let's circle back a little bit. Yes, I work for Zoom. That's not a secret. What we see at Zoom is a lot of shadow IT. What we see at Zoom is a lot of companies that don't have Zoom that they know of. That's not an official IT org application. What we see is that users grab it anyway. Some people just buy it on their own and register their work email with Zoom. A lot of users just say, hey, this is a better tool for what we need. So they get Zoom on their own. They don't even ask IT anymore. They just say, hey, this is the tool that works best for our job, and we're going to get the tool that works best for what we need to do. Yeah, you delivered this one thing, but we don't need that. We need something better. And guess what? That's typically Zoom. It's not just me saying it. It's literally happens every day. I literally go to meetings every day. They're like, hey, did you know you had like 10% of your organization using Zoom? Did you even know that? So your job as a CIO, CTO, IT director is to recognize that. And how do you provide service in that regard? Utopia would be one application that can do everything perfectly, right? That would be utopia. One application that could do all your audio. One application that could do all your video. One application that can do all your phone. One application that could do all your collaboration and chat and persistent chat. One application that can do all your webinars. One application that can do all your breakout rooms. One application that can do all your digital signage. Another application that could do all your conferencing rooms. Wouldn't that be utopia to you as a CIO, a CTO, an IT director? It would to me. And that's where Zoom comes in, is that there's a lot of players in this field. Let's be quite transparent, right? We're not the only people that do this. I get it. There's other people that do this and that have done it for a long time. But they do it as well as, did they do it as well as Zoom? The answer is not just me saying it. The answer is what your users pick. Think about that. What if you were to give your users the option to pick what application works best for them? Not just tell them, hey, here's your UCaaS solution, and you're going to use this for the next 3 to 5 years because this is what we paid for. What if you said, hey, here's 2 or 3 or 4 solutions. Pick whatever one works best for you. Would you be the hero then? Yeah, you probably would be. Because then your users are going to gravitate toward the tool that works best for them. They're going to gravitate toward the tool that is most efficient for them. They're going to gravitate toward the tool that gets their job done more effectively, with more collaboration, with more fidelity, with more quality, with a user experience that works best for the attendee and the presenter. That's where Zoom wins every time. And that's why I'm so glad to be at Zoom. A lot of times people are like, let me take that back. Not a lot of times. When you're the number one, you're not afraid to go against anybody. Not ever. So when I talk to customers, literally CIOs, CTOs, IT directors, I'm like, hey, have you actually utilized Zoom in the way that it was designed? Have you given it to users just to see what they like better? Give them scenarios to test. Because I'm not afraid of what Zoom can do. That's the great thing about it, is that literally when I put Zoom up against any competitor, we will win almost every time. Hands down. From a user experience, from a quality experience, from an attendee experience to a presenter experience. Just try it. That's what I implore people to do. Like, just try it. Literally, I know you're talking about all these vendors and competing and trying to understand what's the best for your company. Let your users decide. Let them drive. Don't you decide. You don't have to decide. You don't have to do it anymore. This is not the 80s and 90s, the draconian methods of the early 2000s. You can literally let your users decide what works best for them and then give them that tool. That's the great thing about it. Going off a little bit on the soapbox here, I understand that, but that's my 2022 vision, is to have these discussions with CIOs and CTOs, to let them know that their role has kind of changed. The attitude of IT has kind of changed. You are truly a service organization. You are there to provide service to your users, your customers. Give them what makes them happy. Don't give them what you think they want. Give them what they want. There's a big difference there. And understanding what they want takes a little work on your part, because you have to discover what they want. Ask questions. Discover what they need. Find their pain points. Don't talk technology with end users. That's not what they want. That's not what Susie in HR wants. That's not what Bob in accounting wants. They want you to listen to what their pain points are, non-technical stuff, what their pain points are in the UCaaS space, unified collaboration as a service, unified communication as a service. What do they need to do to get their job done and done better and more effectively and more efficiently? listen to their answers. And then once you have that, then you can provide the technology solution for them. That's your job. Or that's what that should be your job. So I'm trying to deliver this message to everyone that'll listen. That's what I think this cloud computing in 2022 has evolved to. It's really this simple. It's really this simple. It's making your users happy. That's it. That's your whole job, is to make your users happy, which makes them effective, which makes them do their job better, which makes them happier, which makes them more effective, which in turn drives revenue for your company, drives motivation, drives internal dialogue, drives in collaboration. All these things are good things. So I guess I'll shut it down here. It's Friday at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I can't even remember. Is that do a better job of listening to what your customers want. And your customers are your end users. And you know what? I'll do the same. It's been a hard lesson to learn because I've gone in gangbusters telling them exactly how I think they should run their company. Not run their company, but what's the best solution for them? Because knowing full well what it is. But I did a poor job of listening in the beginning. As I've evolved and transitioned to this role of distinguished architect, I've done a better job. I've learned to listen more and talk less. I know that's hard to believe, but I want to know what you need. I want to know what solves your problem. Once I know what the pain points are of your organization or your enterprise, your public sector, whatever it is, then I can provide a solution. But if I don't listen to what you have as a problem, I can't. If I talk over you, it doesn't do me any good. So I said I was going to round it out, but I would say one more time. Listen to your end users. Ask what they need to do their job better. That will make them happier. That'll make them more effective. And you can be the champion.